Back Row Ministry of World Permit, Mr. Mahdi coming at you live and direct. There's been a lot of talk about this weekend, and I was trying to, besides 44 and 45 being numerology numbers for the day, this weekend, 44 being the kill code, of course. There's also a major event going on. This is how sick these people are. So, plagues, pandemics, and Jupiter Pluto conjunction in history. What astrology reveals. So, this weekend is the first of three in 2020 Jupiter and Pluto conjunctions. So, in the history of these conjunctions, is asked, is there a cosmic connection between Jupiter and Pluto conjunctions meet up in viral outbreak? History reveals a surprising trend. So it goes to talk about throughout history, and many of the biggest plagues and pandemics have coincided with a conjunction. So you see how sick these people are? So now they have a pandemic going on at the same time as the Jupiter and Pluto conjunction. So they planned this. They planned this out for 2020. They planned this out for these conjunctions. But this is the sick type of people that you're dealing with. And this is what people can't really fathom. They think, oh, this is just taking place. Nothing just takes place with these people. They plan this stuff out. They believe a lot of the stuff that we talk about, be it numerology, be it gematria, be it the ideas of the cabal. They believe this stuff. So on April 4th, which is today, Jupiter and Pluto will make their first of three conjunctions in Capricorn. Remember now, most religions are based upon the sun. The sun is based upon the zodiac and the 12 signs of the zodiac, thus 12 disciples. So everything pretty much in religion is based upon the zodiac, especially around the time of Easter. The death of the rising and the birth of the sun is all a big part of Easter. The death of winter, the birth of summer. So the seasons kind of die and are reborn. Thus, the story of Jesus, the rising and the setting of the sun and the new sun. So on April 4th, Jupiter and Pluto will make their first of three conjunctions in Capricorn. Astrology speak, a conjunction occurs when two or more planets align at an exact degree in the same zodiac sign. Remember this. Every religion, like we said, is based upon the zodiac. The union joins their energies to mix results depending on the planets involved. So we talk the building of energy. Right now, fear is the energy. And they're going to use the energy of those planets to really create more energy. This could be to open a portal. This could be to do some of anything. And they're talking about all these deaths that might be taking place. So God knows on a day with the kill code what these sick individuals are planning to do today. So the three 2020 Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions, we have one today, April 4th, another one on June 30th, and another one on November 12th. But I want you to look at the numbers here. 24, remember the death of Kobe Bryant, number 24. 22, the master builder number is our last one, and that happens on November the 12th. November the 12th. So let's look at some things. Go on a couple of more things before we go back to that article, and then we'll talk about the key thing about the article. So going to our date numerology today, September the 4th, 44. We see the kill code. 12 is the number of completion. So you see a lot of things done in sets of 12, 12, 24, 36, and so on. So today is a day with 12 numerology and 48 numerology. Also, we got some 28, some 10, 271. So you see a number like 271, try to see if it is a prime or a Fibonacci. There was a Fibonacci sequence statement at one of the press conferences, and they thought no one could hear. Oh, they're in perfect Fibonacci sequence. See the seating of the people in the spot. All right, so 271 is a 58 prime number. 58 has a lot to do with masonry, so those are just some things I see from jump. And then we can go into the article, go to the calculator, and let's pull up the word conjunction. So, of course, conjunction has 48 numerology. Today is a date with 48 numerology. And then, like I said, this is how these people operate. It's also 138. So let's see, it's 138 is a prime of anything. 38 is not a prime. Is 48 a prime or Fibonacci? No. But 48 is in a 12. So 12, 36 plus 12 is 48. So 12, 12, 12, 12 coming into the conjunction. All right, 159. But 12 is very important. Numbers of completion. So conjunction has a lot to do with coming into completion. So 2020, here we are with the Jupiter and Pluto conjunction in the meetup. So Jupiter has been traveling in proximity to Saturn, Pluto, and South Node all year. But in April, the first official convergences arrive in Capricorn, time of Capricorn, the sign of government structures and the economy. So what is going on? The government is trying to restructure. The government is taking over right now. They want everybody to have a nice little ID tag in the form of a vaccine so they can exactly know where you're going. And if you were listening to the press conference yesterday, you heard Trump just kept talking about voter ID. We need proper voter ID. He's not talking about a physical piece of ID. He's talking about a tag. He's talking about a viral tag. And if you ain't got your vaccine, you can't vote. And until that happens and people really start seeing the slavery that they want to place upon people, then reality is not going to set in. Because right now, they still think that government loves us, government is our friend, they got our best interests at heart, and there is a coronavirus pandemic. No, there's not. No, they're not. Coronavirus is real, but, there's things you can do to get through it. They're not going to do those things for you. They're going to play the game as best they can. Think about pneumonia. How many people catch pneumonia within a given 10 years. You have some people who do pass away from pneumonia, but a lot of people do overcome symptoms of pneumonia. America has improved tremendously medically over the years. So we can't fight pneumonia. We've been fighting pneumonia for years. But like I say, they'll sell a wolf ticket to people. Well, you don't know what this is. That's the wolf ticket. And they full of crap. They know exactly what it is. But they do it for their agenda. And their agenda is sometimes spiritual. But if you can't see spiritual warfare, you're not seeing on a spiritual plane, you'll never be able to defeat these people because you can't see that way. You don't understand how energy travels and flows, how fear can be used as energy. Remember, we feed off of each other. Right now, they got us separated so we can't feed off of the energy of each other. That energy is what keeps us alive as human beings. So they're separating our energy. They want us away from each other. That's social distancing. So we'll take some of these things and let's open up a couple of ciphers. Let's get into some ciphers here. Get to a couple of ciphers and see if we can vibrate. Because everything vibrates, you know that. Let's get some vibration, some good vibration going. We'll close that. So we got 138, 60, 46. Number of sacrifice. And bring it down for you guys. So, of course, it's 48. Like we say, today's the date, 48 numerology. 60. 46 is the number of sacrifice. Like I say, today, they've been talking about a lot of this. There's going to be a great deal of death, and I'm trying to figure out how they're going to get to this number. But these people are willing to do anything to keep their agenda going. They are willing to do and kill anybody. And that's what you got to understand. You got people who get on the TV, Debbie or whatever her name is. She sits up there and just lies right in your face. She don't care about nobody. It's all about her. She's a demon. Demons lie. That's what they do. All right, so I put coronavirus up here to see if we got a vibration with conjunction. And then I put their biggest seller of the lie. Social distancing. Now you always remember now when they are on stage, they're not separated from each other. They're all around each other. Why ain't they practicing social distancing? Why do they want the masses to practice social distancing? Social distancing is 53 to 16 prime. And there was a story yesterday of a 16-year-old boy being murdered. 16-year-old being murdered. He's on one of the TV shows. He was on The Flash. He's on The Flash. And he's murdered yesterday for this sick agenda. He didn't die of coronavirus. He died of straight murder. And I'll get his numbers too. But Flash is 19, Chaos 2019, COVID-19. So that's why the Flash is 44, kind of rolling us into the day with this young man being killed. Flash is 46, so Flash vibrates with conjunction. See how Flash vibrates with conjunction. And take what they give you. So they gave you 16. Coronavirus is 16. Sacrificing of a young person. 16 is 33. So a Masonic sacrifice, going back to the 42 code, New York code, Saturn code. So watch something crazy take place today. Like I say, we don't know what it is, but we expect the crazy to come out. And of course, they can blame it on the coronavirus, because that's what they do. They blame everything on the virus, because people are going to believe it. They got you scared. They got you spooked. Remember, this is a worldwide agenda. This ain't no American agenda. Don't get it twisted. This is worldwide agenda. Worldwide. Let me see if I can pull up this young man's name. All right, so here's the 16-year-old co-star who died from the Flash. They say he died. Use the word died. Here, let's see if they use dies in the... They use dies, so we already talked about dies anytime you see the word dies. But one thing they don't do in the story, they don't tell you how he died. They don't give how he died. So they definitely make sure you don't know how. You don't know how. His name is Logan. Remember Logan, Wolverine is Logan. Make sure I spell it right. Logan. All right, Logan is 22, the master builder number. Logan is 23, which is a number of masonry. 22, 23, 19, going back to COVID-19. 49, the number of revelation. 49 is 7. Remember, I always say death and 7. You always see them together. So Logan sacrificed, and he sacrificed one day before the conjunction. And they killed him one day before the conjunction. It's a sick sacrifice for this. They have to sacrifice a young person all the time. These people are very sick and very twisted. All right, so Jupiter has been traveling in proximity to Saturn and Pluto and the South Node all year, but in April, the first official conversions arrived in Capricorn, the sign of the government structures and the economy. This planetary alignment is already revealing its footprint. It started with a January 12, 2020 Saturn-Pluto conjunction. That may now unfurl another chapter of its saga. Okay, so that's one part of this. So let's go January 12th. I think something happened on January the 12th, if I'm not mistaken, with this virus. See what happened on January the 12th. When they first started, go into this and see if we can get a date. Okay, so in the UK, it was 31 January was the first case that we saw. We saw December of last year. I don't understand all the sick symbolism they do. All right. But if we take January the 12th, let's go to January the 12th here. And we'll take January the 12th. 12. And we'll go this year, 2021, last year. All right, so that was the day with 53, 17, 33 numerology and 12 numerology, January the 12th. So, of course, that's 223 days from the day 223. So we know a lot about 223. All right, so 53, 7, 53, 17, 8, 33, 6. That's what's the beginning. On a day with 12 numerology, we got a day laced with 12, laced with 8 numerology. So those days kind of mirror each other. We talked about a lot about 8 inside of some of our bad sport breakdown that we did. So, Jupiter Pluto conjunction mythology. Heaven meets hell. Heaven meets hell is the mythology of this. Supersizes Jupiter, the planet of global connection expands, whatever it touches. In Roman mythology, Jupiter is the god of all gods, the ruler of the sky and thunder. In mythology, Pluto was the god of the underworld. Astrological lore contends that Pluto rules all things, Pluto rules all things, hidden from viruses to government conspiracies. Once again, astrological lore contends that Pluto rules all things hidden. Remember the hidden hand of masonry. If you see the picture of the hand inside of the coat jacket, we call that the hidden hand. And you see that's a popular Masonic pose for those higher up in masonry. They carry the hidden hand. Pluto rules all things hidden, from viruses to government conspiracies. This shadowy sign governs death, rebirth, and transformation that rises from the ashes. And that's what we're going through. So this new world order is not new at all. This is a astrological world order. That's all it is. And it changes according to the zodiac as the world constantly changes, as the seasons change through the zodiac. Everything changes through the zodiac. Like these people know, there's no Jesus and all this stuff. There's no this stuff. This is the zodiac. That's all they're talking about. The 12 disciples. That's all they're talking about. But if you're not learned, and you just stick to the verse they give you, and they gave you an easy way. So the Bible is just an easy way for you to digest the zodiac. That's all it is. They just put it in people form, pretty much the same damn thing. You know, everything works in 12s like the zodiac, and pretty much that's how these people operate and function, based upon the zodiac. So Pluto now is ruling all things, the hidden hand, ruling viruses to government conspiracies. And we're right now in one of those times. During the Jupiter and Pluto conjunction, heaven and hell essentially come together. This is where we are. Heaven and hell is coming together. We got all these deaths. We got a pandemic. And they say perhaps pandemic is our purgatory, that midpoint between the two realms. We're in between heaven and hell. This is the ritual. And they'll create hell, and then they'll create heaven. So they'll put you in hell to give you their version of heaven. It's not your version. It's their version. Their version of heaven is everyone takes a vaccine and everyone be coded. And to get on the plane, you got to make sure you got vaccines or you can't go anywhere. Basically, you're trapped. But that's heaven to them. But they're not going to do it. They'll tell you you have to do it. They'll act like their people are doing it, but they're really not doing it. So they'll give you hell, and then come back with the heaven. Order out of chaos. Give you chaos, then give you their version of order, all based upon their creations and their lies. All right, so and then we are living in a suspended state as we quarantine and wait interminably for answers, test kits, vaccine developments, and medical supplies and more. So this is where we are. This is where we are. So, what history has shown us during past astrological cycles when Jupiter and Pluto were side by side as the pandemic broke out? The 1918 flu pandemic, Jupiter and Pluto in Cancer. In January and February 1918, Jupiter and Pluto were traveling together in Cancer, the zodiac sign that rules the United States. The flu pandemic, which is also called the Spanish flu, broke out during this time, infecting an estimated 500 million people, one quarter of the world's population, and resulting in 50 million deaths. So this is not the first time these people have done this. Like I say, they follow the astrological signs. They do everything according to ritual. Remember, this is a ritual. They got to keep the rituals going, and they need fresh sacrifices to do it, and they had many to do it. And they did it during the time of the Spanish flu. Spanish flu was the first of two pandemics caused by the H1N1 influenza virus, basically the flu. The second was the swine flu in 2009. Remember the swine flu where you couldn't go to the Mexican restaurants? 1981 HIV outbreak, Jupiter and Pluto in Libra. Once again, another Jupiter and Pluto conjunction. This time, Jupiter and Pluto was in Libra. This is 1981. They're talking about HIV. I didn't learn about HIV until 1991, 92. This is 1981 when they started the ritual. This is before I knew about any of this stuff. Shortly after the next Jupiter-Pluto conjunction on December 2nd, 1994, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved an oral HIV test, the first non-blood-based antibody test for HIV. And unfortunately, this same test is the one they have been using for this coronavirus, which is kind of 80% ineffective, but they still continue to use it. Another plague, the Russian plague of 1771. And this is Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn, which we're dealing with today. From 1770 to 1772, the Russian plague, also known as the Plague of 1771, was the last huge outbreak from the bubonic plague, resulting in between 50,000 and 100,000 lost lives in Moscow. And that happened in December 1770. December 1770, when they had the bubonic plague. Okay? And remember that time, the national government, when the government was slow to respond, sending military guards to the hospital to enforce a quarantine. In late February 1771, Jupiter and Pluto united at 18 degrees Capricorn. That month, Dr. Shafarnitsky submitted a report that was refuted by Dr. Reiner. However, in March is starting to sound eerily familiar. Disease was spreading in Moscow. Officials began to implement protocols, but unfortunately, they waited too long to act. Same thing we're going on today. Same thing we're going on with today. September 1771, Jupiter and Pluto were united in exactly 17 degrees, 17 the kill code, which brought the very peak of the plague. Like today, we're in a kill code. 44 is a kill code. And it just goes on and on and on. They talk about the Black Death. They talk about the plague of Athens during the conjunction. Okay. There's an article you can read. The article is in Astro Style. There's some other articles that I saw. One was even more eerie than this. But it talk about plagues, pandemics during this time of this conjunction. So you got to remember, the sick people that you're dealing with. And I told my mom a long time ago, these people are dangerous because they believe this stuff. That what makes them dangerous. Bubonic is 66. We talk about the bubonic plague. Bubonic is 42. 42 the nigger number. They love to kill some people of color and poor people during this time. And if you take bubonic, 16 is 42. That's why it was done during that time. You got a ritual of a young person being murdered, going into the big ritual, which is the conjunction. And this has just been a consistent, constant thing they've done throughout history. And they actually believe this. This is what makes these people dangerous. They understand the power of the universe, the cosmos, and the energy created by the cosmos as a way of kind of fueling their agenda. And they use this energy. Remember, the planets can control mood. When you're in certain people talking about when certain things are going on in the cosmos, mood change, they use that to their advantage. This time they're using the conjunction to just spread fear. And this fear is so strong that we don't even want to be around each other. But they're using that energy from the conjunction to be able to create the atmosphere. They create the environment that you're living in based upon the alignments of the planets. All this has to do, like I say, everything has to do with the planets, the zodiac, everything has to do with that. And it's very important to these people. So they use that energy for these rituals. So every so often, inside of the 12s, they have this ritual. So April 4th, this is another one of these rituals. And God knows what they're willing to do today to really boost the energy of this ritual today. That's the scary part with them. You don't know what they're willing to do to boost up that energy. So be on the watch today for something crazy to go on or anything they might try to do to really get into the ritual today. Because we don't know. We don't know. Mr. Mahdi, Back Row Ministry. Peace.